Flying for many is a luxury, the transportation they take to get away on their yearly vacations. The thought of owning the plane they fly in is absurd, a toy reserved for the wealthy, not the average Joe. Today, however, the 14-hangar Fairfield Air Park was not crawling with the rich and famous. Instead, it was the seemingly average.
This is the first time we've had a fly-in out here like this.
54 pilots from around the U.S. with one commonality. Most built their airplanes from scratch.
We're just winding it up.
The price of a new car.
Benefit with aircraft, though, is they don't depreciate like automobiles do. So your investment stays a lot stronger for a lot longer time.
You can take our planes and build them in a couple of weeks in some cases with average skills, average shop tools in a small space like a two-car garage.
Randy Schlitter is the owner of Rands Aircraft, a manufacturer of light sport kit planes. Rands helped launch over 4,000 people into the sky in 50 different countries. In fact, most of the planes at the West Desert Air Park today came from Rands.
These are light sport aircraft, which means that the aircraft can carry only 2 people, and they can weigh up to 1,320 pounds.
Unlike your typical airplane, light sport aircraft can be flown with merely a driver's license. With a regular pilot's license, an aviator must meet the FAA's third-class medical requirements. If a pilot's medicals have been revoked, so is their right to fly. Light sport only requires that the pilot have a valid driver's license and a minimum of 20 flight hours as a student, but there are some limitations.
Sport pilot limits you to fly the aircraft at night, but you can fly basically anywhere in the country you want to go.
Arriving in a series of large crates, the kit comes complete with all the parts, right down to the last nut and bolt.
It was daunting in the beginning to see all of the just little packages of nuts and bolts and things like that. I think a couple times we would say to each other, what have we gotten ourselves into?
If you follow the plans, it's not terribly difficult, but it is time consuming. I'm learning a lot about this particular airplane as I'm the one that's putting all the pieces together.
Carmen Hendrickson and Randy Myers both know the joys of building airplanes. After hundreds of hours of work over an 8-month span, Hendrickson and her husband finished their winter project just in time for the summer. Myers, on the other hand, is in the process of building his specialty plane for his aerial photography business.
With building my own plane, I can have a lower operating cost, so it gives me a huge competitive advantage.
First, the builder assembles the frame and the electronics are installed. If the builder should run into trouble, West Desert's team of skilled technicians are right there to help. In fact, it's this service that helped attract Hendrickson and Myers to the air park in the first place.
I have access to expertise, the tools, the equipment, so I can come up with the best product.
They have a build center, and in the build center you can rent space. It was totally insulated and they have radiant heat in the floor.
We wanted to have just a fun recreational place for pilots to come operate their aircraft out of.
With the assistance of West Desert staff, the insides are set and the plane is ready for skin. Most kit planes are covered with fabric instead of metal, a seemingly unsafe material to the untrained eye.
Well, fabric's actually deceptively strong. The first word in airplane is air, right? And the more you build them out of air, the better they'll fly.
The fabric is stretched, glued, and heat shrunk around the frame. Pre-sewn polyester is also used, in which case it's slipped around the frame and laced up like a big shoe. Finally, like prepping a car for paint, fabric is wet sanded and painted with regular auto paint. After some final touches and a tank of auto gas, the 4-cylinder, 100-horsepower airplane is ready for takeoff.
There are just some perspectives and angles from an airplane that you can't get from the ground. You get depth, you get perspective, you get an idea of what's surrounding it that is a whole new dimension to a photograph or to travel.
We'd like people to give aviation a try. We think it's one of the best sports that you get your money's worth.
This is my Lexus. No, for the price of what I would pay for a Lexus, I can be flying over things and exploring this absolutely wonderful, wonderful state that we live in.
From the sky over West Desert Air Park, I'm Linda Williams.